Cavaliers players were given Tuesday and Wednesday off this week, so LeBron took that time to fly to Miami and work out with former teammate Dwayne Wade and his trainer David Alexander. According to ESPN's Brian Windhorst, the Cavaliers were aware of the trip and had no issue with LeBron taking his talents to South Beach. Here's Wade on the workout.
It's one of my best friends, so it's not odd for me to work out with one of my best friends. If it's somebody I didn't know, it'd be a little different. You know, obviously, LeBron takes his time away. The sun is a nice place to come to get away for a couple of days, you know, when your organization and your coach allow you to get away and clear your mind. So Miami is a great place to do that. And so it's not odd to, for me to work out with someone that I've been working out with for 13 years.
Miami, a great place for a lot of things. Stephen A. Smith, what do you make of this?
Absolutely nothing. The fact is that the gym where they work out, it is a fabulous gym. That's number one. Number two, LeBron's lovely wife owns a spot, a smoothie spot. I'd recommend everybody go there. It's fantastic. I've been there several times. The protein drink, the green smoothie skip, is no joke at all. Absolutely not. Having said all of that, let me also add to this. LeBron James going to South Beach, ain't nothing wrong with that. Shouldn't have left personally, but obviously family and friends wanted him to, and he didn't think just about himself. He thought about, everybody involved, particularly his mama and his lovely wife and family. And so you look at it from that perspective, it is what it is. But I think the most important point to point out is this. They're like brothers. They're very, very tight. No, D. Wade is not, Rich Paul. He's not Maverick Carter, but he's pretty damn close. Not Randy, but he's pretty damn close. LeBron loves him. LeBron was at his wedding. D. Wade and LeBron are like brothers. They're incredibly tight. And at one time, it was much to the chagrin of Pat Riley. Now, he's laid off of that, but initially, Pat Riley's old school. Skip, I explained this to you on this show last year. Pat Riley, as far as he was concerned, once LeBron decided to up and leave South Beach, LeBron became the enemy. And it was a mentality that he wanted D. Wade to adopt. D. Wade is his own man. Nobody's going to tell D. Wade what to do, who to befriend, who to love, who to trust, etc. He makes his own decisions in that regard. And it was one of those situations, as much as he loves and respects Pat Riley and Mickey and Nick Harrison and those boys, he was going to do what he wanted to do. And he made it very clear. I get on the court with LeBron, I'm going to go at him. Everybody knows that. But off the court, this is my brother. He's that special to me, and the feeling is mutual. And so when you look at it from that perspective, listen, they spent a lot of time together in the offseason. During the season, LeBron had a few moments to go down to South Beach and spend time with D. Wade, and there's absolutely positively nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Familiar with the trainers, familiar with the strength and conditioning guys in that gym, familiar with their routine and what they like to do, and plus they trust one another implicitly and they're friends. You saw the pictures. They clearly weren't hiding. They didn't do anything in secret. It's two brothers hanging out together, working out, trying to get themselves in peak condition, but more importantly, sitting down, rapping to one another about the season, about some of the trials and tribulations, and about where their mind needs to be moving forward, especially since both are going to meet in the playoffs. I know it's not ideal to individuals that live off of old school rules and circumstances, but this works for them. If I saw them go on the court and give each other a pass, it would be entirely different. But when I see them on the court going up against one another, I see Dwayne Wade elevating his game to another level. I see LeBron in attack mode. I see two guys that compete at a very high level when they're going against each other, but they're brothers once the competition is over. I don't think there's any problem with it when you conduct yourself with the professionalism both of them conduct themselves with. I've known this for a long time. Their relationship is that tight. I've got no issue with it whatsoever, and I don't think anybody else should either.
Okay. Also, point of order, LeBron's wife, when they lived in Miami, was trained by this trainer, David Alexander, in that gym near her smoothie place. So again, there's connections everywhere. Okay.
Go ahead.
Now, back to the question. I do honor and live by old school rules. I do not have a problem with LeBron taking a couple of days off to go visit his brother, Dwayne Wade, hang out, work out, Miami, not in South Beach actually, but in Miami. No problem with that.
It's all South Beach.
Okay? It's all South Beach to you because you're the mayor of South Beach.
That's right.
But look, I am now, this is my 2 cents from a distance, and I've heard this from several people who are more plugged into this than I am. I'm going to read more into it than you just did. LeBron James doesn't do anything in his public life, or in his life in general, that isn't planned, that isn't thought completely through, that isn't analyzed beforehand. LeBron James is brilliant at every decision he makes, and he knows how public a decision this became. And our Brian Windhorst said yesterday on 6 o'clock Sports Center, right after you were on 6 o'clock Sports Center, that LeBron aggressive statements, these are more subtle than blatant statements that he makes. They're more, if you will, covert than overt. They're more between the lines than in your face. So remember, if LeBron James had really, really wanted to, he could have slipped in and slipped out, as Brian Windhorst said. He could have slipped in and slipped out of Miami, unannounced, unseen. I think he could have gotten away with it if they had had a private workout, stayed completely to themselves, limoed back and forth to a private plane. I think he could have pulled it off. I might be wrong about it. But that's not what happened. They went to a very public gym in which people are working out. I don't know if we can see those pictures. Have we shown them yet? Here we are. So, okay, so here's LeBron and D-Wade. And again, D-Wade wanted to get the trainer a little publicity here and the gym a little publicity. But LeBron is clowning for the camera. LeBron knows exactly what bombshell is about to drop. He had no problem with it hitting social media and exploding that he was back in South Beach, that he had taken his talents back to South Beach to work out and hang out with his dearest friend, Dwayne Wade. Again, on the surface, no problem. But now let's put it in the context of what's been going on lately. LeBron James has been under some fire in Cleveland. He has taken some criticism. We talked yesterday, we led off the show talking about how LeBron was firing back at that criticism, finally throwing up his hands and saying, yeah, but I'm going to be the one who gets blamed anyways, and we talked about that. LeBron sometimes can be a little thin-skinned. He can take the criticism a little too quickly, in my opinion, to heart. And in this case, I think he's making a statement that, hey, at any point, I can take my talents back to South Beach, Cleveland, you know, Mr. Gilbert or David Griffin, just reminding the world that, hey, I can at any moment. And you keep reminding me that at the end of this year, LeBron James, if he chose to, we don't think he will, you don't think he will, but if he chose to, he could go elsewhere. Maybe not back to Miami. He could go anywhere. He could go to Los Angeles. He could go to New York. He could go to anywhere because he will once again be a free agent. So I think he just wanted to remind everybody that, hey, I'm going to take a little break here, and I'm going to go back. Remember Miami? Remember where I won my 2 rings? And I'm going to hang out with basketball royalty, Dwayne Wade. I'm not going to stay and hang with Kyrie and Kevin Love, not that he ever does, because he doesn't. But I'm not even going to stay home and hang with my boys on the team, with JR, Tristan, James Jones, the guys he does hang around more than he does with Kevin Love and Kyrie. But again, I'm going to go with Dwayne. I just think there's passive-aggressive message being sent here. I want to remind everybody about my 2 rings and what once upon a time I did, just so you're thinking about it if all goes wrong at the end of the year and you think, oh, get LeBron out of our sight. He'll get out of your sight and go right back to maybe South Beach. Go ahead.
Well, you threw out a lot of stuff.
I did.
There. I feel compelled. I feel compelled to address.
Thought you would. Okay. I want to push every button
number one,
all the way down to the bottom. Yeah.
Well, number one, Skip Bayless, you're not far off your rocker. It is entirely plausible that LeBron wants to send a message. Don't take me for granted.
Yes.
At any time. Okay, that is absolutely true. It's also possible that both he and D-Wade want to make sure Miami knows, don't take D-Wade for granted. Remember, D-Wade is on a 1-year, $20 million deal.
Yep.
D-Wade is a free agent at the end of this year. Now, I believe that D-Wade is going to retire as a member of the Miami Heat. But it's not like he's a slouch. He's averaging 19 points on 45% shooting. The Miami Heat are in the playoff picture at 34-26. They could end up meeting Cleveland in the postseason. And after that, D-Wade may feel like he's got a few more years left in him, looking for Pat Riley and the Miami Heat to make sure they take care of him. And considering how difficult the negotiations were last summer before they reached an accord, those are the kind of things that D-Wade is cognizant about, because everything has to be about business. Now, I am of the mindset, first of all, I don't know any of these things. I haven't rapped to them about this kind of stuff in months. And to be quite honest with you, even if I did, I wouldn't say anything about it unless they gave me permission to do so, to be quite honest with you, because that's what you do when you communicate, you covering this league. I'm going to shut my mouth until they give me the okay to do so, or do otherwise. But I will say this to you. A whole bunch of scenarios make sense. It makes sense for LeBron James to sit up there and say, don't take me for granted. It makes sense for both he and or D-Wade to make the statement to Miami, don't take D-Wade for granted, okay? And you have to look at it. This is why I don't believe LeBron's going anywhere, because I don't believe Cleveland's going to win the chip. But I will tell you this, LeBron never once promised to retire a Cleveland Cavalier. His mission is to come back and to deliver a championship to the city of Cleveland. I don't see him departing before he does that, unless A, he believes there's no hope, or B, something else happens with Dan Gilbert that's so egregious, he's like, the hell with this, I'm done. That's number two. But you also got to take into account the Pat Riley factor. Because when you look at Pat Riley, the manner in which LeBron departed, doesn't hate the man, okay, or anything like that, and Pat Riley doesn't hate him or anything. Pat Riley's just a high-end competitor. Miami Heat organization is first class all the way. But Pat Riley made it very, very clear. You are a player. I run this show in South Beach. Pat Riley runs Miami. Pat Riley runs South Beach. He don't answer to anybody but Mickey Harrison. And so when LeBron goes to Miami and you can't get all of the amenities that you want, but you go to Cleveland and you can pretty much have your way, I mean, it's just a different animal altogether. LeBron is able to do more for the people he loves in Cleveland because of the cachet he has within that city, within that area, and clearly within that organization that he never felt he had in Miami. So the thought of him going back to Miami, I consider slim to none. But I'm cognizant enough not to rule out anything when it comes to these players, their brand, their marketing prowess, how they think. Talk about a big story that would be a moneymaker for everybody. Could you imagine if he decided to go back to South Beach? Again, I can't see that happening. I've heard nothing of the sort. But I rule out nothing with LeBron James when it comes to business. This brother's on a mission to be a billionaire, to make an impact, to be the global iconic figure he is while accumulating rings. And in fairness to Pat Riley, let's be honest about something here. Pat Riley, Andy Ellsberg, and all of those boys in Miami, Mickey Harrison, they didn't lie to LeBron. They did exactly what they said they were going to do, and he became a two-time champion because of it. Pat Riley wasn't perfect. A couple of things he could have done a little bit differently, but he showed himself to be an elite executive and an elite leader. And we don't know if that exists in Cleveland. We damn sure know it exists in Miami.
Okay. So allow me to finish this off by driving home my initial point to express to you how shocked I was that LeBron James went to Miami and worked out at a public gym. Remember, LeBron just walks into the gym with Dwayne, the trainer, and it's LeBron James, but there are people everywhere. If we could just quickly see the picture again, or the video, whatever, I don't know, whichever one we have, both. Okay, so there are people working out in the background. Can you imagine? LeBron James just walks in the gym, and then he says, oh, yeah, I'm fine. Go ahead and take the picture, shoot the video of me without my shirt on. He's got his shirt off in a public gym, and I'm pretty sure there's a rule, because there's a rule in every gym, you can't work out without your shirt on. But he's LeBron James. No. But you want to talk about draw attention to self as posted on the internet? Boom, Skip. Right?
It's not that kind of gym. The people that are in there, it's a crew of dudes that they know that work out at that gym religiously. It's not like it's open to the public
but
or whatever.
He's not going
It's
to
a
know
different
everybody. I know you're working with personal trainers, but it's still the public. It's still you can still get in there.
I'm saying to you at that spot, I know it, Skip. I've been there, and I know people who go there. The likelihood is that there might have been anywhere from 8 to 10 people in there. He knows every one of them. That's all I'm saying.
I find that far-fetched, but that's just me. That he would know every one of the 8 to 10? I don't know.
I've been there, and I've been there with, not with LeBron and D-Wade, but I've been at the gym with the other guys. I'm telling you, they're always there. They know them.
Listen, you have your shirt off. You can see every muscle, right? You can see them all working.
Hey, the gyms I go to, no way.
All right, let's leave it there.